Good afternoon and welcome to the 9th Annual Wine, Women, and Shoes. I'm Vicki Yates, anchor and reporter for News Channel 5. What a different world we were living in just 1 year ago when so many of us were gathered at the Music City Center for this fun and fashionable event. Over the past 8 years, Wine, Women, and Shoes has grown into one of the biggest and best charity parties in Nashville. It's become the place for us to gather with our girlfriends, to kick up our heels or boots or flats, and sip, shop, and support the life-saving and life-changing work of the YWCA. YWCA has been serving women, girls, and families in our region for 123 years. Think about that. What an incredible organization. And thanks to your support, they can continue serving those most in need and those that are not safer at home. We have a great program for you today. In fact, the program has been happening for the past 10 days, with opportunities to purchase a key to the closet or cellar, bid on amazing auction items, shop the marketplace and Dress for Success designer closet, and enter the Best in Shoe contest. All of these winners will be announced in the 2 o'clock hour of our broadcast. I'm so proud to be a part of the YWCA family. By being here today, you are part of this family as well. It's a family dedicated to eliminating racism and empowering women. It's a family that's working together to keep women and children safe from abuse, empowering our girls to be strong, smart, and bold, teaching our boys healthy masculinity and respect, and giving adults opportunities to succeed through education and women the chance to be successful in the workplace. I'm honored to bring in my good friend and the president and CEO of the YWCA, Sharon Roberson.
Thank you so much, Vicki. You said it. This is truly a Wine, Women, and Shoes unlike any we've seen before in the past. But I am so excited to be here in the Gary Music's production studio. We're delighted to have them back producing this event. And I have to give my biggest shout out to our community bank, Regions Bank, our presenting sponsor for the 8th year in a row. What a partnership. Regions has been such an amazing supporter of our work and, more importantly, our mission. Now, later on the broadcast, I'm asking everyone that is here right now, please stay on the program, because at the 2 o'clock hour, we'll be sharing a mission moment like no other. You will firsthand hear of how important, how essential the services of the Weaver Center are. And I know you will be moved by the powerful story you will hear.
Thank you so much, Sharon. You're right. There's no doubt that the work of the YWCA saves lives. And now we're going to share a video from Dr. Catherine Rye Brown, founder of Learn CPA America. She's on a mission to save lives by teaching CPR. Thank you for that warm introduction, and thank you for inviting me to join the YWCA's Wine, Women, and Shoes event to share an important message with you about CPR. My name is Dr. Catherine Y. Brown, and I am the founder of Learn CPR America.
I am here today to teach you how to perform hands-only CPR. First, I want to know where everyone is joining from. Put your name and location in the chat box and let me know if you have ever taken a CPR class. All right, let's get that chat going. Oh, I love it. Welcome. Hey, friend. Oh, this is great. I love it. I love it. Okay, all right. So as we get started, let's test your knowledge. I'm going to ask you a question and I want you to put your answer in the chat box. Are you ready? Drum roll. Question 1. About how many cardiac arrests happen outside of a hospital each year? A, 175,000, B, 250,000, C, 350,000, or D, 425,000. All right, you got 10 seconds. Let's put those answers, A, B, C, or D. And the answer is C, 350,000. You got it correct. We'll talk about exactly what a cardiac arrest is in a minute. But now, question 2. What percentage of cardiac arrests happen at home? A, 25%, B, 40%, C, 55%, or D, 70%. A, B, C, or D. Let's put it in the chat box. 25%, 40%, 55%, or 70%. Oh, I love it. The answers are coming in. And the correct answer is D, 70%. Some of us go our whole lives without ever encountering an emergency situation. So most of us never think about it, and so we don't prepare. But that's okay, friends. That's why we're here today. I'll show you everything that you need to know to help a teen or an adult who is in need of CPR. I want to share a little bit with you. We've all heard the terms cardiac arrest and heart attack, right? You know, we use those terms interchangeably, but they're not the same. Cardiac arrest occurs when the heart malfunctions and stops beating unexpectedly. It is triggered by an electrical malfunction in the heart that causes an irregular heartbeat, which is also called an arrhythmia. When the heart stops beating or pumping, it cannot pump blood to the brain, lungs, or other organs. So think about arrest as stop. Over 350,000 Americans suffer out of hospital cardiac arrest every year, and about 90% die. Yeah. A heart attack occurs when the blood flow to the heart is blocked. A blocked artery prevents oxygen-rich blood from reaching a section of the heart. If the blocked artery is not reopened quickly, part of the heart can die. All right, that was a lot of information, so let's make it simple. Cardiac arrest is an electrical problem. The heart stops. A heart attack is a circulation problem. Now, before we move on, what are some of the symptoms of a heart attack? I just told you, so tell me in the chat box. All right, you got 10 seconds. Oh, I love it. You all are quick learners. Oh yeah, you definitely know the difference between a cardiac arrest and a heart attack now. So now let's learn some CPR. Did you know that 2 simple steps could help save a life? Yes, 2. Step 1, dial 911. Step 2, push hard and fast in the center of the chest. Now, in case someone missed it, can someone help me in the chat box? Just tell me, step 1, push 911. Come on, put it in the chat for me. Thank you. Step 2, tell them, push hard and fast in the center of the chest. Good, thank you so much for helping me in that chat box. Now, I'm gonna demonstrate. Hey, are you okay? This person is not breathing or responding. I'm gonna shout for help. Hey, you, call 911. You, get an AED. And then I'm gonna start pushing hard and fast in the center of the chest, about 2 inches deep. Push, 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 push. Now, for today, I'm using the beat of the song, Staying Alive, Staying Alive. Push, push, push. You are going to keep pushing hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Because you did this first step, which was called for help, you dialed 911, you activated the emergency response system, and help is on the way. Here's the reality. If you ever need to perform hands-only CPR, it will most likely be on someone you love, a family member, or even a friend. Since we just learned that 70% of cardiac arrest happen in the home, it is even likely that you'll have to use hands-only CPR in the comfort of your home. Hands-only CPR, especially if performed immediately, can double or even triple a cardiac arrest victim's chance of survival. So, if someone is in cardiac arrest, trying to help is always the best option. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the steps of CPR one more time to make sure that you are comfortable with these steps to help save a life. Let's say we just arrived at a scene where an adult is laying on the ground. The first thing you are going to do is tap the person and shout something. Put it in the chat. What am I going to shout? You got it. Hey, are you okay? The victim might be gasping for air or unable to respond, or the person may be unconscious, and we better get some help. If you are alone, you will have to call 911 yourself, but if there is someone around, you say, hey you, call 911 now, but say it like you mean it. So put it in that chat for me right now, friends. Hey you, call 911. Oh yeah, you're saying it like you mean it. Now, when performing CPR, what is the rate of compressions you should do in a minute? So per minute, option A, 60 to 70, option B, 80 to 100, C, 120 to 100, or D, 130 to 150. All right, the answer is C, 100 to 120. Remember, if you are called on to give CPR in an emergency, you will likely be trying to save the life of someone you love, a child, a spouse, a family member, or a friend. You know, if I told you option A was true and B was false, I know that you all know the answer right now, right? What's the answer to that alarming statistic? You guessed it. A, true. The life that you may be saving in an emergency will most likely be the life of someone that you love. Remember, cardiac arrest is when a person's heart suddenly stops beating. Over 350,000 Americans suffer out-of-hospital cardiac arrest every year, and about 70% of those happen where? You got it, in the home. Hands-only CPR can double or even triple a cardiac arrest victim's chances of survival. This is why I'm so excited today. This is why we are bringing this training to you, even virtually, because we are arming each of you, yes, you and you and you, here with the life-saving skills of CPR. Now, what about children? Did you know that 70% of all fatalities that occur during youth sports are cardiovascular related? Those are children, nieces, nephews, grandchildren who we send out onto the field every week. What happens if they go into sudden cardiac arrest? So, did you learn something about the importance of CPR just now? If yes, put it in the chat. Hey, tell somebody, let's learn CPR America. Yep, yes, let's put it in the chat. Let's learn CPR America. Let's give a virtual high five because you can do it. Friends, I have had so much fun with you today. Stay safe and have a great day. And remember, you, yes, you, and even you can learn CPR America. Now, be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Hashtag Dr. Catherine Y. Brown, and also at hashtag Learn CPR America. Until next time, friends, remember, you can help save a life. Stay CPR ready. Bye. Tell them bye.
CPR is essential to learn. Dr. Brown has been a longtime supporter and advocate of YWCA Nashville in Middle Tennessee. She's an esteemed member of YWCA's Academy for Women of Achievement. Dr. Brown recently teamed up with Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, Amy DuBois Barnett, and the American Heart Association in an article in Forbes magazine focusing on staying active and taking care of our hearts. Sharon.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Dr. Brown. This is such an important message. That's why we brought it to you today. We're so thankful that Dr. Brown is sharing her knowledge with us. Also, to all of those in the audience, remember that the silent auction closes at 9 p.m. tonight. So 9 p.m. tonight, silent auction closes. Also, please make sure you check out the wonderful items available. The trips, experiences, jewelry, gift baskets. It is truly one of the best silent auctions I have seen, and believe it or not, I've seen a lot of them. Also, make sure you purchase your key to the closet, and with that purchase, you can win $10,000 worth of luxury items, restaurant gift certificates, and other beautiful things. Some of our generous donors to the closet include our friends at Levy's, Right Home Collections, also available at Levy's, Gold Skin Care, Barcelona Wine Bars, one of my favorites. And while you are purchasing your key to the closet, why not purchase a key to the cellar? Let's say you've purchased a new house or your wine supply is running low. This gives you a chance at winning over 50 bottles of wine. The marketplace is still open, so go to our generous vendors. 20% of all proceeds go directly to the YWCA. We're so delighted to have more than a dozen women and minority-owned businesses. Check them out. Of course, our good friends at Thistle Farms, Herbalux Apothecary Company, Unlocked, and so many others are available. Vicki? Have you done any shopping?
Well, indeed I have, Sharon, and maybe too much. Maybe the folks who own It's Arranged can help me out. Amy Delaplane has been a YWCA volunteer extraordinaire for years. She single-handedly managed the Wine, Women, and Shoes silent auction in 2015 as a volunteer. And for years with her friend Amanda Weeks-Jevedon, Amy has put the finishing touches on the YW's Wine, Women, and Shoes silent auction display at the event. Amy and her business partner, Cynthia Lindsay, launched It's Arranged in 2020, combining 35 years of experience in professional organizing, space arrangement, move management, and project management. Today, Amy and Cynthia raise a toast to Wine, Women, and Shoes and share a few of their own secrets on closet organization and inspiration. Now, do you wear everything in your closet? Are you stealing closet space from your partner? Amy and Cynthia will help us fine-tune solutions so our closets are appealing and inspiring. If you have any questions during the video, Amy will be monitoring the chat box. And don't forget to bid on the It's Arranged silent auction item so you can get more help from this experienced team.
Hi, I'm Amy Delaplane.
And I'm Cynthia Lindsay.
Partners with It's Arranged. We are so happy to see you and to be here participating in Wine, Women, and Shoes, supporting the YWCA Nashville and Middle Tennessee. We hope you are sipping, clicking, and shopping like we are.
I'm so excited to share a little bit about our services, our organizing inspiration, products, and tips. Let's take a look at our services.
Here at It's Arranged, we offer custom plans to organize your space,
single room or whole house declutter, storage solutions and systems to support your lifestyle. We prepare your home for a move, declutter and stage, unpack, set up, and style your home. We also reimagine your space with a fresh perspective, new ideas to complement furniture you already have. Rearrange without the expense of a complete design overhaul.
Let's talk closets. So Amy, how do you organize your closet?
I have different categories in my closet based on the types of clothing that I have in there. And so my tops are on my top rack and my pants are on my bottom rack. And then I have a long hanging section, but I've got my athletic wear in one place, my blouses and short sleeve dressier tops in another place.
That's kind of how I do mine. I have my closet's fairly small. You can walk in, but it feels like my space isn't that great. So you know what I do? I still have of my husband's side to do what I need to do.
So we're lucky. We actually have 2 walk-in closets. My husband's is much smaller than mine.
Yeah.
I have a smaller walk-in closet, but I do have room to display shoes and my jewelry.
So how do you do the shoes? Because I only have like 3 shelves. So my shoes, I can have my seasonal ones out, but then if it's non-season, I put them in a plastic bin and stick them up on the high shelf and rotate them. I cannot have everything out at once. How do you do yours?
That's a great way to do it. I actually have a lot of shoes because I love shoes.
Okay.
And so off-season shoes I put on higher shelves in plastic bins. Yeah. And the shoes that I really love and like to look at every day when I walk in my closet, I have on display, and it just makes me feel happy every time I see them.
Displaying shoes, especially if you've got some real pizzazzy shoes, I love how it dresses up a closet. And it could be for any kind of space, anything. When you can dress up the closet and you walk in, it inspires you. That's awesome. So, all right, one of the big things that people talk about is how to organize sweaters.
Yeah.
What's your solution?
So, I don't have a lot of sweaters, but the sweaters that I do have, I hang on velvet slimline hangers. What about you? What do you do with your sweaters?
Okay, well, actually, you hang them. So I have a couple that they're on the slimline hanger, which I love and highly recommend, but they're not pulling down on it, so I can do that. But I actually fold some of mine because I found when I was hanging them, they were getting the little dips in there. So I went, well, maybe I should fold these. Like you, I don't have that many, but I also rotate them. So again, I'm limited on a little bit of space, so when it's time for the season, I fold them up, put them in a bin, stick them up high, so I can just have my summer stuff out, and then my winter stuff is rotated seasonally. But okay, so my last one for you, my last question is jewelry. How do you organize your jewelry?
Yes, well, I do like the bling.
Yes.
And so I love this product called stackers, and stackers come in various sizes and different configurations.
Right.
And so I use them to separate the different individual pieces. So rings go in one area, bracelets in another, necklaces in another. And then for the long hanging, like bulkier items, I actually have found a belt hook that hangs in my closet, and I use that to display my long hanging.
I saw that. I think that's brilliant. I hadn't even thought of that. I've been organizing for many, many years, and I still learn something new. I love trying something new that I see and go, oh, I could do that. It's a process that just never ends. You're always fine-tuning, learning new solutions. So I love the closets. The closet's a great place to kind of test out products. So look forward to sharing some more of those tips with you later.
Let's talk about our 3 top closet organizing tips. Editing, making your space feel like a boutique feel, and real life. Cynthia?
Yeah, you know, one of my favorite tips, and this is for everybody, every space in your home, is just to edit what you have. Go through your clothes on at least an annual basis, if not every 6 months, especially as you rotate out the seasons. One of the things that I like to do is when I've worn something, I put it on one side of my closet. If I haven't worn it in that season, then it's in the back and I go, oh, I didn't wear that, so maybe I should let go. One time I actually did an edit and I counted how many items I had taken out of my closet, and I'm not lying, it was 99 pieces of clothing. It was disgusting. I'm like, wow, how did What just happened? So what's your next tip on boutique?
Really kind of making it a fun space to enter. You want to be in the right mindset and have fun every morning, so why not make your closet your own? Whether you put your favorite shoes on display or have your jewelry front and center, even some photos of your favorite people in your life.
I love that. And I think our final tip really is about making the space your own. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't live in a perfect world, and none of us are perfect. So make the space your own. Look at really what you have available to work with, and if you only have so much, just work with that. You can always hire a professional organizer, and we will help you get there.
Cynthia, how fun was this?
This is a blast. I can't wait to see what happens with everything.
So glad to be part of Wine, Women, and Shoes 2021.
Me too. There's still a chance for you to check out the auction. You will have an opportunity to win a 3-hour session with It's Arranged. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Amy and Cynthia. We are so grateful to have you in our YWCA family. Now, I've already talked about this, but I will say it again. In the second half of our program, we'll be sharing a video with you that brings home why we are having this event. Bottom line, we need funds to keep our services going, and every year, the wonderful community of Nashville and Middle Tennessee answer the call. I will say this, in the second half, I will also be bringing you personal stories of my experiences of working in the Weaver Domestic Violence Center during the pandemic. And I'm hopeful that when I open up my heart in that way, you will understand why this mission is so important. Because of you, we are able to serve more than 500 adults and children every year. Because of you, we are able to offer more than 19,000 nights of safety. We are able to answer 5,000 calls and text messages for help and information to our crisis line. We are able to provide the only text DV line in the state of Tennessee. We were able to keep our doors open during the pandemic, and I'll be the first to acknowledge of all my experiences in my professional life, it was the most difficult, but it was also the most rewarding. And that is because of you, because this community understood that not everyone is safer at home. And now, it is my pleasure. I'm going to introduce you to a woman who is one of the YWCA's biggest advocates and supporters, our board chair, Rita Mitchell, who is serving her second term, actually her third term, as board chair of this YW. In a career spanning decades, Rita P. Mitchell has a proven track record of achievement and success in really what's a very highly competitive financial services industry, and doing this as a Black female. She is confident. She has written her own phenomenal self, a wonderful guide to empowering young women in their careers so that they can achieve their desired success. And it was an Amazon bestseller. In 2014, Rita was inducted into the YWCA's Academy for Women of Achievement. Currently, she serves on the boards of Cheekwood, Leadership Nashville Alumni Association, the Founders Advisory Board of Studio Bank. In addition to chairing our local YW, she also serves on the national YWCA board. Now, Rita's fun, though. She has her fun side, and unlike me, one thing she loves to do is cook. And I will say, I'm getting ready to share with you something that is fun and amazing. This is a phenomenal cooking program with her phenomenal daughter, Brittany. And they're going to show you how to make cooking fun. If you make cooking fun to me, you have truly made cooking fun. This mother and daughter team has produced several high-spirited how-to-dos on cooking, everything from chitlins or chitterlings, something my mother would never, bring into the house, although she wanted. My father said no, to shrimp Creole. So pour yourself a little more wine, get comfortable, and get ready to learn from and laugh with the phenomenal Rita and Britt as they slay Southern cooking.
So, this is Rita and Britt, phenomenally cooking confidently.
Confidently.
What we're going to do today is attempt to cook 5 different fish dishes in this little bitty 10-minute video, so that cooking fish is easy, and we're calling it
Don't Be Afraid of Fish.
I was going to say Leave No Fish Behind, but we're like
even better.
Even Leave No Fish
and
Behind.
It's called Leave No Fish Behind.
Shrimp Creole, mussels, salmon, clam pasta, and cod. Again, these recipes we're gonna do are easy. You can do this frozen too. So you can buy shrimp that's already cleaned and deveined, and thaw them out. And they really don't take that long. And you can do the same recipe with fresh or frozen. My brothers and I, we were just like, man, we were gonna have some shrimp Creole, man. Hope these people don't eat all this stuff. My mom's shrimp Creole, delicious. It's I'm too tired to do anything else dish because you can have frozen shrimp and frozen okra. I mean, it's just really easy. And again, my mom, who did not know how to cook, because I don't know what kind of learning happened, and she didn't want to know how to cook, but my grandmother didn't let her in the kitchen. But she was looking for easy, something that she could put down and have a company meal without a lot of ingredients and not a lot of time. And so this is her version, and it's delicious. We got fresh, deveined and clean shrimp.
No tail. That's what I like to see.
All right, I know.
Some of them have. They're not even.
Oh, we don't even need to take tails off. Okay.
But usually peeling and deveining is a much more aggressive situation. But our fishmonger is so great.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like a butter bath. So it's getting translucent and cooking down. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of flour.
Which will make a roux. Then add tomatoes and the chili sauce. And that's kind of it beside the okra and the shrimp. And then the whole dish is done.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. That's pretty much ready. I'm gonna turn the heat off.
Nice. That does look good.
And then the water will absorb in the rice. So.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited because I haven't eaten anything today. Okay, let me get one of these shrimps. It's a big bite.
That's how you roll.
The shrimp is perfectly cooked.
Of course, because I'm perfect.
I thought this was my moment.
Okay, sorry, it's my bad.
The sauce is very sweet, but good. And the rice is perfectly cooked. And let's get into this bread. This bread is very important. Oh, wow, it's so beautiful. Just a little dusting. Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
It's all mine.
3 tablespoons of butter, salted butter, and then 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And olive oil kind of tempers the butter so it won't burn. And then we're just going to saute the shallots, 1 shallot.
Okay.
And then probably a tablespoon of minced garlic. And then we're going to throw the clams in there.
Great.
And parsley at the end with some ground pepper and
That
salt.
is too easy.
Honey, it's amazing. So the water's boiling. And it's been salted and I put some olive oil in it. All gets in the water and doesn't stick. It's really good.
So
I can really taste the lemon now.
I love the
The
lemon.
freshness of the lemon with the clams, delicious. And it's light.
So light. No, really, we're just cooking and then I'm eating and then she's cooking and then I'm eating and then we're cooking.
Going
Moment of
in.
truth, as if I haven't already tasted it.
It's in the pantry.
It's lemony,
Yeah.
buttery. It tastes really expensive and fancy, and it was really fast.
Yeah.
We're on our way to the fish market.
For the cooking video.
For the cooking, now it's great.
We bought a fresh piece of cod yesterday at the fish market. It's not even batter, it's a light dusting of flour on top. My bad. Outside fish spatula, inside skillet fish spatula.
Look at that. Look at that. Wow, the butter's just falling off. It's falling off. This is the cod.
Okay.
See if I can get a
Yeah.
good
Can you see the bottom?
shot.
Really, yeah.
Crisp,
Crisp.
delicious.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I feel like
I didn't even think, that's really good.
surprisingly.
Oh, surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm. I like
Okay.
it. You like it?
That's really good.
What do you expect?
I was thinking about the cooking, not the eating.
Okay.
Dish number 3.
Knock it
Done.
out.
So I'm going to be working on the salmon en papillote recipe.
French for in parchment paper. In order to do that, we need to thaw out the salmon. So, in our deceivingly organized freezer, 2 salmon fillets that we froze. I put it in some water. The salmon have thawed out.
Bam.
Bam, baby. So what we're gonna do is some salmon and some asparagus. Okay, it's my time to shine. We have.
Yes.
I hope it's not hot because I don't have a glove. Oh, it's perfect. Here is our cute little salmon in the parchment paper.
And what's it
Salmon
called again?
Saumon en papiette.
Thank you.
To say it delicately. Okay, then we're gonna take some asparagus. I may have already had a couple.
You may, yeah. I had one.
Really good. I
Delish.
think I'll have another one. And then we're gonna go sit down
Okay. Ready?
and eat.
Last dish of the day, number 5. And we save the easiest thing for the last thing, which are the mussels. And then I think we're gonna eat that for lunch, maybe. I think
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
think
eat
really
that.
eating
We've
this.
been eating the
We
whole
taste-
time,
well,
but
no,
we have these beautiful mussels.
and we also got all this from the fish market. Okay.
Scrub them.
And then you're gonna scrub them
And he
in.
said you check each one. Obviously, if one is open,
If one is open, that means
So-
it's dead.
if it's dead, you can't eat
Ready
it.
for your close-up, Mr. DeVille. Shallots.
Shallots. This is the sauce that the mussels are gonna go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you normally eat mussels with crusty bread.
Yeah.
So you want to have a dipping sauce. You're going to eat the mussels, but you also want to have a dipping sauce with the crusty bread.
Cooking with confidence and tomatoes.
Let's see what you think.
All about me.
It's always all about you. Okay. Let's see what it.
Delish.
Okay.
You want some?
I do.
Action.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That's why. So we're working on a cookbook that we hope to get out, by the end of the year, and it's our family legacy cookbook. So it's from my grandmother, my mom, didn't really cook a lot, but what she cooked was really good, and me, and then Brett. And so we're working on that, and these are the 2 aprons, and
today's all about fish.
it's all about fish.
And it says fish menu.
Right, and so isn't that like
Serendipitous.
last bite, stop, eat it.
I mean, you can stop filming. I'm gonna keep eating.
Okay, the end.
Okay, cool.
That was fun. I felt like I was in the kitchen with them. We're getting close to 2 o'clock, where we will announce our Best in Shoe winners and Key to the Closet and Cellar winners. Remember, you can still purchase your keys and shop the marketplace with more than 20 vendors, many of whom are women and minority owned. We'll cut off sales to Key to the Cellar and Closet at 2:15, so don't miss your chance.
We're so glad you've joined us for the 9th annual Wine Women in Shoes. This event is so much more than shopping, sipping, and this year, since we're virtual, clicking or taking pictures of each other. This event is about saving lives, lives of women and children fleeing domestic violence. As I've told you before, I'm going to share you some very, very heartwarming and personal experiences I have had at the Weaver Center during the pandemic. I want to share this with the Nashville community because I want them to understand and really appreciate the true mission of the Weaver Center. In just a few minutes, we'll be sharing a powerful video on the cycle of violence. For those of you that are out in the audience who are survivors yourselves, make sure you take care of yourself and protect your heart. But we know that the public needs to understand, and we have 2 brave women who are survivors, and they're advocates, and they want to share their stories so that no one else will have to live through the experiences they have had. So we invite you to take a break, but make sure you come back, because we have a very important message for you. You can refill your wine glass, grab a snack. We will be right back.
But mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
afternoon and welcome to the 9th Annual Wine, Women, and Shoes. I'm Vicki Yates, anchor and reporter for News Channel 5. I am absolutely delighted to be back for this fun and fashionable and this year virtual event. We're all here to support the life-saving and life-changing work of YWCA Nashville and Middle Tennessee. YWCA has been serving women, girls, and families for 123 years. For the last 4 decades, it has been at the forefront in the fight against domestic violence, offering a place of safety, shelter, and healing for women and their children. This is the reason we're all here today. Well, it's also nice to kick back on a cold and sunny Saturday afternoon, sip some fine wines, enjoy some treats, and know that you're doing it safely. I'm confident we'll all be together again in person next year. Over the past 8 years, this event has generated more than $2.5 million to support the life-saving services of the YWCA's Weaver Domestic Violence Center. Now, that sounds like a lot, but did you know that it takes over $2.5 million each year to run the 65-bed emergency shelter and 24-hour crisis and support phone and text line? I want to remind everybody who's tuning in, if you haven't yet registered, please go to the website listed on your screen and register. In a few minutes, we're going to ask you to make a donation that supports the YWCA's services. If you haven't yet purchased your key to the closet or the key to the cellar, don't wait. You have just a few minutes before a winner will be announced. You absolutely do not want to miss those fabulous packages of wines and luxury items. The $50 cost for a key is the price for a cab ride to the YWCA's Weaver Center. So for every $50 donated for the key, you are giving a woman and her children a ride to safety. The key to the closet is filled with goodies any girl would want, including gift certificates to some of Nashville's best restaurants, including Barcelona Wine Bar, Gold Skincare, fashions from Levy's, and a trip to Mexico. The key to the cellar winner will take home over 50 bottles of wine, but we will stop selling those keys at 2:15. We mean it. I've been involved in a lot of events over the years, and I can tell you the key to a successful one is the quality of its co-chairs. Now, this event wouldn't have happened without our amazing co-chairs. Thank you to Lucia Folk, joining us for the 3rd year in a row, Tony Francis Davis, and Lethea Sweat Mann. They signed on to this effort knowing it was going to be a little different and a lot more work. The incredible YWCA staff went above and beyond, making this a Wine, Women, and Shoes that pulls out all the stops. And signing on for the 8th year in a row, our presenting sponsor, Regions Bank. Thank you, Regions.
Good morning. I am Lethea Sweat Mann, Vice President and Community Development Manager with Regions Bank. What an honor it has been to serve as the 2021 co-chair of Wine, Women, and Shoes with Lucia Folk and Tony Francis Davis. A shout out to both of them and to Sharon Roberson as my fellow Vanderbilt alumnae. Anchor down. I'm also pleased to welcome you today on behalf of my employer, Regions Bank. Our Nashville team has been the proud presenting sponsor of Wine, Women, and Shoes for several years. And while we all wish we could be together sipping and shopping in person, we're grateful that you're joining us for today's virtual fun and festivities, and we're really looking forward to next year. The services the YW provides have been important since they opened their doors almost 125 years ago. But in 2020, the YW's efforts to ensure that girls, women, and families living in our communities are safe and self-sufficient became especially critical. The strain of families constantly living together under the same roof while experiencing unprecedented stress levels have resulted in a significant increase in domestic violence rates, something the BBC calls a shadow pandemic. The YWCA operates the largest domestic violence program in the state and ensures that Middle-T families facing domestic abuse have a safe place to turn and a safe place to lay their heads at night. Regions is proud to support this life-changing and, in certain cases, life-saving work as we fulfill our mission to make life better in our communities. We believe that demonstration of our mission involves more than just writing checks. It's about putting that mission into action with our associates volunteering in the communities and neighborhoods where they work and live. When we work together, we create a more just society and our communities thrive. And when our communities thrive, everyone benefits. Again, thank you for joining us today and for your generosity in supporting the YWCA's work. I trust you will have a fun day. And now I turn it over to Vicki. Thank you.
Thank you. Regions is such an incredible sponsor, not only to the Weaver Center by presenting this event, but the Regions Foundation of Tennessee stepped up to support our work in the racial and social justice arena, sponsoring our Stand Against Racism educational programming. I want to express our gratitude to the Plastic Surgery Center of Nashville for their longtime commitment to the YWCA and Wine Women in Shoes. Doctors Melinda Hawes and Mary Gingras have hearts of gold. They always come through for us. We're excited to welcome a new sponsor to our event. RBC Wealth Management has signed on as Arthur Pump's or PJ sponsor, and we're so delighted to have FW Publishing and In Focus Magazine with us again as our media sponsor. Thank you to all of our many volunteers who've been working behind the scenes for the last several months to make this event happen, especially our committee chairs, Cheryl Reed and Marchie Levy, Key to the Closet, and Sheena Clayson and Celeste LaRoe, Silent Auction. For all of you joining us who have not yet registered, I'm urging you to go online and register at the link you see on your screen. We're getting ready to close and lock the closet and cellar doors, so if you want your chance to win more than 50 bottles of wine and a closet full of luxury items valued at $10,000, go online and purchase a key right now. Last call to purchase your key to the closet or key to the cellar. Keys will stop being sold at 2:15 p.m. A reminder that the silent auction and marketplace will be open until 9 p.m. this evening. And now it's my pleasure to reintroduce you to my friend, the president and CEO of YWCA Nashville in Middle Tennessee, Sharon K. Roberson. Sharon, it's good to see you here in the studios of Gary Music, one of today's fine supporters.
Thank you so much, Vicki. It is wonderful to have you back as our MC for this fun and fashionable event. As you've said before, and I cannot say enough, we thank all of our sponsors. We're grateful to Regions, to FW Publishing, to the Plastic Surgery Center of Nashville. We're so grateful to all of our sponsors, and our new sponsor, RBC Wealth Management. Like all of us, the YWCA has been impacted by the pandemic. But we didn't just let us stop our work. We kept going. We kept our doors open. I'll never forget on March 16th when I transferred my office from our administrative office to the Weaver Center. At that time, we thought it would be maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Little did we know that we would be called upon to offer a safe haven for hundreds of women and children in the midst of a pandemic. And as I said in our first hour, this was the most challenging time of my career, and I have been through a lot. But let me tell you a story that helps you understand, because I can give you data all day. I can tell you about the spike in calls. I can tell you about the number of nights we offer safety. I can tell you about all of the other services that we offer, but what I'm going to tell you about is the heart of the YW. While I was at the Weaver Center, one of our residents, our clients, the people we take care of, had gone to court. She had left in the middle of the night and come into the Weaver Center with her 2 daughters, one a teenager and one a younger child. Her son, at that time, did not come with her. The father, who was very abusive, discussed this with the son and said, "If you leave me, you'll never see me again." And this is how children are often used as a tool in the fight of domestic violence. So the mother came. She didn't want to leave her son behind, but we worked her through the court system such that she was able to go to court and present evidence to get her son back. They come back to the Weaver Center with her son. And this is a child that had been through a little bit of trauma, a lot of trauma, in fact. He had seen violence. He had seen a lot of things that a young boy should not see. He was 9 years old. When he came into the Weaver Center, he was violent, because that's what happens when you see violence. You imitate that and you become a violent person. He was in the lobby of the Weaver Center. Our staff was all there talking to him, and he assaulted his mother in our Weaver Center. We saw this. We knew this had happened. She was crying. She didn't know what to do. One of our staff person called to try to get some services to help this child. A police officer came, and he offered what police have in their arsenal. What they can offer you is, we can take him and arrest him and put him in the juvenile justice system. But this is where the miracle happened. This is where the Weaver staff stepped up for this child that was hurting. And he was hurting in a way that I hadn't seen a child hurt before. And so he was throwing chairs at the windows. I said, if we come out of here, we're just going to have to go down like this. But one of our Weaver supervisors stepped into that space that only a child who had experienced domestic violence themselves could step into. And he started talking to this young man. He started telling him, I understand. I've been there myself. I have been there when I left my dad, and I understand it hurt me. He started talking, and this little boy started calming himself. And I kept saying, keep on talking, because this is working. And he explained how your life will be better. We told the police officer, we have this. We're not going to let you take this child that suffered all this trauma to a juvenile detention center, because that starts a cycle that we can't handle. And we stayed there, and we talked. And I actually have a picture that this little boy took. I have instant cameras. Those that know me I love instant pictures. He said, can I take your picture, after he settled down? And he took a picture of me, and I put that on the back of my badge. The reason I did that, I always want to remember what grace looks like. Next thing I know, he was playing soccer in the lobby with me and one of our other supervisors. I stayed later that night. When I went to my car, I thank God that we had the staff at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center that saved this one child. But that's what we do, so that he didn't become part of the system. The next day, he was in his room. The next afternoon, he was doing crafts and playing with the other kids and was very content. And the reason I tell that story is because oftentimes people don't understand what the work really looks like. And that's the work. The work is when we step into that space, and we don't only give from our head, we give from our heart. And we work people through the most difficult circumstances of their life so that they can have a better way of life. And that's the story of the Weaver Center. And that's the work, and that's what we do. So I don't want you to miss out on me saying thank you to the phenomenal staff of the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. These people do it every day. And they bring their head and their hearts to this mission. And that's what this mission is about. Now we're getting ready to show you a video. And this video is hard, but it's necessary. It's necessary for everyone in this audience to understand that there are people that want to help victims of domestic violence, but you have to educate yourself first. That's the key. When people say, what can I do? My loved one, I think they're a victim of domestic violence. I tell them you have to educate yourself first. And this is an educational video. I will say any individual that is a victim, if you feel as though this is something that you cannot watch, protect yourself first. But we're going to be digging deeper today. There are two very powerful stories of two of the bravest women I have ever met. And we're going to understand the cycle of violence. I'm asking you to give me 20 minutes of your time. And we want you to watch this video. And it's going to impact you. But 20 minutes is a very short period of your time to give so that you will understand the reason why we are having this event, because we need funds to continue the life-changing work. It is one of the most important pieces we've ever produced, and I'm confident it will save someone's lives or many lives. I will ask you to share the video with your network so that we can educate as many people as possible about this deadly cycle of violence.
I remember thinking, I wonder if I could just crawl, to go see the kids. I was having whole conversations in my head. I was thinking, oh crap, I can't even open my eyes to see them. This is it, I might as well just lay here.
My sister Suzanne loved the holidays, and my dad was not comfortable having him over for the holidays. Her husband Gary used that as a wedge, the beginning of a wedge between my sister and her dad.
At one point he gave me the gun and he told me to put it in my mouth and pull the trigger. This is it. This is how I knew it would end.
It was always mental abuse, emotional abuse, intimidation. I'm not aware of him ever hitting her. It never occurred to us that he would take her life in such a tragic way.
Will this be in the video?
I want your name and give me your title.
I'm Damian Talley. I'm the Vice President of Domestic Violence Services for the YWCA Weaver Domestic Violence Center. In Tennessee, almost half of all crimes related to a person are domestic violence related. You don't start off violent. You don't start off in a negative circumstance where bullying is involved. You start off with these pleasantries. This is a wonderful person. This is a nice person. They love me. They care about me. That's what you start off with.
So my sister met Gary at church. So she had started going to church, wanted to create a better life for her sons. That's where the relationship was established.
When I first met Tavares, I was pretty lonely, confused. I started working at the Goodwill warehouse. I would get surprise food deliveries from different restaurants, nice restaurants, P.F. Chang's, J. Alexander's. Another lady came and pointed him out and said, that's the one who's been buying you food. He was very clean cut, white teeth, very polite, shy, and quiet.
There are 3 steps to the cycle of violence. The first one being seduction. That's what we would consider the honeymoon stage.
This was the first guy since I had been back to show me some attention.
She was flattered, especially coming off of a divorce and trying to build her confidence in establishing another, hopefully a healthy relationship.
He invited me on a date. I actually stood him up the first time.
He was very persistent. Eventually she acquiesced and went out with him, and they just started dating. He would take her out to eat, he would buy her music, spend time with her sons.
Pleasantries, presents, the gifts, the trips, no warning signs of any violent or manipulative behaviors are involved, just a general bringing you in and seducing you, basically.
He made me feel like the only person in the world, like nothing else mattered. He hung on to every single word. He became my best friend.
You wouldn't think anything's going wrong, just the welcoming aspect.
I mean, he told her, God wants you to be my wife.
So I never had any reason to question his loyalty. He was like the man of my dreams, and I was all in.
Tension building would be the second. It's the longest phase. It can go from several weeks to several months. And during that stage is where circumstances with the abuser become more tense, become more volatile.
After they dated for about 6 or 7 months, they were engaged. And shortly after they were engaged, he stole a check from her checkbook to pay off a debt. And that resulted in bouncing her own checking account.
I found out that some of the things he told me about his family wasn't true. He told me that his mom was dead, and that's when red flags began to pop up.
She confronted him about it and broke off the engagement. A week or two later, she met with him to have closure. Instead of accepting his role in taking the check, he blamed her for her behavior. And so that began the process. And she took him back, and they were married for about 4 years before they had their daughter, Crystal.
His mom, when I first met her, I told her I was pregnant, because by this time I was 7 months pregnant. His mom said, "I feel sorry for you, and I'm gonna be praying for you for getting involved with my son because he ain't no good."
Often what's reported is the general control of their movements, general control of their finances, threats to the family, threats to their whole entire existence, really.
Tavares began to try to control everything. I couldn't wear nice clothes, couldn't wear my hair down, certain shoes, particularly high heels, they would be missing all of a sudden.
He dictated who she saw, what their daughter ate. He took her to school. He dictated when my sister could work and could not work. With his previous marriage, he actually kidnapped his infant daughter, fled to another state, hired a lawyer, and got full custody. So he constantly threatened to take their daughter if she ever thought about leaving.
No matter what you do, no matter what you say, there's always something. You feel like things are building up to a possibly dangerous situation, but you also feel like maybe if they consistently maneuver around the threats and try to soothe the abuser's ego a little bit, then they can avoid the possible explosion, which unfortunately isn't always the case.
The very first time Tavares became abusive, I was 9 months pregnant with our first child together. He was leaving to go hang out with friends. I followed him to the door just to simply go lock the door. When he opened up the door, they had the headlights on, so I couldn't see. I wasn't even trying to look, but he turned around and smacked me so hard, I hit the floor. And I was stunned and I was shocked because I didn't know what happened. He didn't seem mad or anything, but while I was on the floor, he turned around and was like, "You don't have to follow me trying to look at my homeboys." And he walked out the door.
Threats are occurring, so they don't know which way to turn or what they can do.
What is happening here? At that point, I felt like I needed to figure out what was going on.
He always told her, "You're welcome to visit your family," but at the end of the day, there was a consequence that came with it.
He had dropped me off at the laundromat, and I was struggling because it was a big, full hamper. It was another man that saw me struggling with this big old belly, and he asked if he could help me. I hurried up and said no, because I knew that Tavares was going to get mad.
The third step is what we call the explosion. It's not a long-lasting stage, but it is the most intense because that's where emotional violence or physical violence is escalated to its highest point.
And as soon as I got in the car, he was like, "You just too cute for your own good," and started punching me in my face and was like, "Nobody's gonna want you after today, that's a promise."
He told her that, I've killed somebody fighting. He practiced martial arts. I'm not sure whether or not if that's true, but it worked because it created a sense of fear. So over the course of 3 years, she had some contact with some family, but it gradually became less and less. First it was my dad, and then it was my grandmother, and then it was me, and then my brother and my youngest sister.
Once stage 3 is over, it is immediately followed by the first stage, seduction. The honeymoon phase begins again. And that's why it becomes a cycle.
I am frustrated with him. This is what he's doing. Why do you stay? And, she said, "I love him."
One thing that people don't always consider is when they ask things like, why wouldn't she just leave, is these are these individuals' partners. These are their lovers, their husbands, their wives, their boyfriends that they've established these lasting relationships with, have children with in certain circumstances.
I began to rationalize it like, okay, people have hurt him in the past. If he just sees that I'm sticking it out with him, it will be okay, but this is somebody I love. And it was always about my looks. So I began to get upset with God. I was like, God, why did you make me like this, that the man that I love can't even love me right?
It's not easy to just let those circumstances go, especially because that may not be what they want. What they want to end is the abuse. You want the relationship, you need the abuse, or you want the abuse to stop. And as long as you can have the relationship, sometimes people will deal with the abuse for a longer period of time, unfortunately.
He began to use some of the things I told him about my past and what my mom put me through to use it against me. And that made me feel like I couldn't trust anybody. I told him some deep, dark secrets that came out, that went out public. He would beat me and pull off my clothes and say he was gonna call his homeboys over so they can do the same thing to me again, making me relive my past. And I knew then, I was like, this ain't love. This man hates me and I don't understand why when we keep having children together.
Can I go back and, my sister decided to leave her husband. That week, she called me and asked if I would meet with her. And I always told her, when you're ready to leave, I'll help you.
He, out of the blue, said he was gonna leave. He knew I was miserable. He haven't saw me smile in years, and I was so happy, but I didn't show it.
Suzanne told Gary, I'm done. I am not gonna live like this anymore, and I want a divorce.
Do what you gotta do. And he was like, so you want another man to raise my kids? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me out so somebody else can come in. And he began to fight.
He had filed for full custody and he wanted the home. She was filing for joint custody and she also wanted the home. When we spoke with her lawyer, he told her, because you make a little bit more money than him, if you're going to make him leave, then you are going to have to pay for his living expenses if he doesn't have anywhere local to go. It forced them to live in the same house in separate bedrooms while they were going through divorce to let the litigation decide who was going to get the home and who was, what the parenting plan was going to be.
He left, I called the police, he got pulled over, he went to jail. He called and begged me not to go to court. He said, if you don't go to court, I promise I'm gonna leave you alone. And he stayed away for like a year, almost a year.
5 days after Father's Day, she and I were texting each other related to the lawyer. We were raising a concern that didn't feel like it was in the best interest for joint custody and looking to change that. Thursday evening, I got the last text from her. We were gonna talk on Friday. The last text I got was, yeah, let's talk, and it was at 10 o'clock.
So I hadn't seen him in a while. It was Christmas. I went to visit my mom, my dad, other family members. Little did I know he was following me.
The longer the relationship occurs, the more intense the violence or physical abuse becomes.
That night, the kids were sleeping. I took them upstairs one by one into my apartment, and when I got ready to go back out the door, he came out of my kitchen, and my heart dropped because I know that look. And from that point on, it was 3 days of pure hell. He said, you're not coming out of this alive. You will die today.
That's where the manipulative, emotional violence is at its peak. That's when lives are at stake.
And so he began to beat me up, stomp me, kick me, punch me, drag me upstairs, sliced my face, cut my hair. He made me take off my clothes and poke my butt out and dance. He then pulled his pants down and at one point, he gave me the gun and he told me to put it in my mouth and pull the trigger. This is how I knew it would end because it wasn't hurting anymore.
At 5 o'clock the next morning, I got a call from my dad telling me that she had died. And I got up and turned on the television, and on the news was a house that had been set on fire. And we weren't sure if she was the only one in there or if there were others in there. As the news continued, We learned that there were 2 other individuals in there. We weren't sure who it was, but we suspected it was her husband Gary and Crystal. So what we learned happened is he had given their daughter about 20 times the dose of Benadryl to knock her out. He and my sister must have gotten into a fight because from what we can tell in the room, she fought for her life. He hit her over the head, blunt trauma, with one of his weights, and then a stab wound in her back. And then he sealed up all the windows, disabled the fire alarm, and poured accelerant throughout the house, and then set it on fire. From what I understand, Gary and Crystal were still alive, barely. They were able to revive them and then transport them to separate hospitals. He eventually died later that evening, and then Crystal died the next day, related to smoke inhalation.
Next thing I know, I heard paramedics, and they had told me that Miracle, my 3-year-old daughter, was the one who saved my life. I was shocked. Miss Miracle went next door to the neighbor and said, "My daddy is killing my mama," and he called the police.
Tennessee is consistently ranked in the top 10 of women who are killed by men as a result of domestic violence.
Why do you think that is?
I think lack of understanding, lack of taking it serious, a need of more resources for women and men to have to escape these circumstances, more support overall.
The Y could have helped my sister establish a safety plan and would have helped find a safe shelter for her, a safe home for her.
So a lot of people were enraged that I had him locked up. They didn't care that I was in the hospital fighting for my life. So we knew that I couldn't go home. The detectives told me about the Y, so I was like, okay, let's just go, let's see what happens. And going to the Y ended up being the very best thing that happened to me.
The sad part about isolation is that you don't have direct insight to what all that was happening. And I believe she would be alive today if we had more knowledge about the depth and breadth of services that are offered through the YWCA.
The shelter became my safe haven. They kept me completely protected and private. They wouldn't even tell my dad where I was. They were gonna make sure me and the children were protected and got everything that we needed.
When people support the YWCA, they're able to support our 24-hour shelter. They're able to support our clients receiving all necessary resources such as transitional housing, case management, therapy.
The YWCA helped me learn financial stability and budgeting because financially I was solely dependent on him at this point. They helped me find housing immediately. Within 2 weeks we were out of there.
You give us the ability to help the residents, the clients that we serve, to escape the cycle of violence. We are able to empower them to move on from their circumstances better than they were before.
If I got out the hospital and didn't have the Y, I probably wouldn't have prosecuted him. Matter of fact, I'm sure of it. I wouldn't have prosecuted him because I would have needed him.
If you have anyone who's experiencing domestic violence or needs resources, they can always call our hotline or, if necessary, our text line. Basically put them in a better circumstance than they have ever been, that they ever knew was possible. So that's what your resources do for us.
I learned research shows that statistics that are told through a story that invoke emotion is remembered. And my sister and my niece are not statistics, they're humans. And so my hope is, in telling their story, I'm able to create awareness and then hopefully help women leave an abusive relationship safely.
Thank you so much, Sparkle and Debbie. Your stories will save lives. We're also grateful to the YWCA's new Vice President of Domestic Violence Services, Damian Talley, for his dedication to this mission and breaking the cycle of violence.
I just want to say, wow. Thank you, Debbie and Sparkle, for being so vulnerable and so brave to share your heart-wrenching stories of immense loss and incredible overcoming. Amanda and I are here today to champion you and your request that while everyone watching cannot be together in person, we will still come together to change the landscape of domestic violence in Middle Tennessee. Debbie mentioned in the video how her sister and niece are not statistics. They are real people. Sparkle's story is real, and they care so immensely about making a difference and making a change that not only did they give their time to be a part of this video, but they are here in studio with us today. Sparkle and Debbie. We know if you were in person with us, you would be showing your appreciation and immense respect for Debbie and Sparkle with rounds of applause, championing, and cheering. We're going to give you the opportunity to do that through gifts and donations. One more time, thank you to Sparkle and Debbie.
I'm Amanda Weeks Jevedin, and I'm very proud to be honored as the incoming chair of the YWCA Board of Directors.
And I'm Ashley Meyer, former Director of Development at the YWCA and longtime friend. I want to ask you to go on a little bit of a journey with me. Will you close your eyes for a moment and just feel all the emotions that might be flooding you right now? Keep your eyes closed. Now, while we know that this past year has held challenges, loss, fear, and worry uniquely for everyone, I want you to picture your time during quarantine. Did you ration toilet paper? Did you watch Tiger King? Did you wish you'd called It's Arranged and gotten organized? Did you feel grateful for your home? Or maybe the people you share it with? Did you feel safe? Now open your eyes. This is where it becomes so real. For those in domestic violence situation, quarantine was terrifying on a whole new level. Total isolation creates devastating opportunity for an abuser, and we experienced through the increase in calls to our 24/7 crisis line that Sharon has already talked with you about. We know things look different for this event this year, and while we all wish that COVID and the weather would stop limiting our ability to get together and drink wine and have a wonderful time, Wine Women Shoes and other events, we will not allow it to stop us from doing something incredibly important together. Over the next few moments, Amanda and I are going to ask you to give, and give generously. While we've all heard the now overused phrase, unprecedented times, in this moment, we have an unprecedented opportunity to unite. From wherever you're watching, in your slippers or your stilettos, we are asking you to stand up for change. Stand up with us. Stand beside Sparkle and Debbie as we join hands with the YWCA to end domestic violence in Middle Tennessee. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to start high and go low. There'll be a level that's comfortable for everyone. When we reach the level that's right for you, simply go to your mobile bidding page, click Donate Now, and select the amount. Make that commitment and help us create more survivors. We're going to start at $5,000. Amanda, what does $5,000 do?
You heard Sparkle say it. $5,000 supports a month-long stay for a family at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. It's that step they need to get out of that situation. Help us support a month-long stay.
Now, you heard Damien talk about it, and we all know that nobody signs up to be in a violent relationship. But once you're in it, you don't want the relationship to end with your partner, spouse, lover. You want the violence to end. So Sparkle and anyone who has the strength and bravery to leave a domestic violence relationship deserves support and care. And that's what the Weaver Domestic Violence Center supports. For a $5,000 gift, you can make that a reality for someone. We want to say thank you to an incredible anonymous donor who started us off with that $5,000 foundational gift. Thank you so much to our anonymous donor for that $5,000 gift. If $5,000 is the right amount for you and you want to make $5,000 an opportunity for a month-long stay at Weaver Center, all you have to do is go to that Donate Now button, choose $5,000, and make that commitment. All right, we're going to go on to the $2,500 level. Amanda, can you tell us about $2,500?
think about this. Once you leave Weaver, the healing doesn't stop. $2,500 helps continue support groups, counseling, case management services for one of our domestic violence survivors and her family after moving from Weaver into our transitional housing program. Ashley, I think we already have some folks at $2,500.
We do. We want to say thank you so much to Carla Lavelle and Sunny Spiriton, wonderful, amazing woman and mentor of mine. Thank you so much, Carla and Sunny, for your $2,500 gift. If $2,500 is the level for you, click on that Donate Now button in your mobile bidding page and you can make that commitment. This is one of the things, Amanda, that I've admired so much for the YWCA. This is a full care concept, right? It doesn't stop the crisis line. It doesn't stop at stay and meals and therapy in the shelter. It goes to transitional housing and beyond in a way that helps move victims to survivors and ultimately success. If $2,500 is that level for you, click that Donate Now button. All right, we're going to move on to $1,000. Amanda, what does $1,000 do?
Think about this. $1,000 at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center provides enhanced programming and devices for virtual schooling for children during their stay at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center to help them have normalcy in their lives. Think about the last year, and if you've been parenting children from home with remote school, add the layer of being at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center, seeing these traumas that we've heard about today, and being in a virtual environment. You need some type of normalcy. For $1,000, you can help these kids stay on track with school and programming, Ashley.
And we saw a $1,000 gift come through. April Britt, thank you so much for your $1,000 gift. As you can see on your screen, we have a lot. We have a big goal. We want to raise $60,000 right now. You can see that thermometer climbing. If you give, we're going to see your name. We're going to call it out. We need you to come together and make those gifts. Louise Brock, $1,000. Thank you so much, Louise.
Louise is one of our advocacy committee members and a board member. Thank you, Louise, for that contribution to make sure those kids at Weaver have the tools and resources they need to keep up with their schoolwork and not letting them fall behind. Again, helping us make sure that we're breaking the cycle of violence.
Now, the $1,000 level has been really popular in-person events, so I want to give you guys just a few more minutes to make a commitment at $1,000. $1,000 does so much good, like Amanda's talked about, giving the opportunity for normalcy, right? And we know, you guys witnessed in this video, like the services that the YWCA offers are making a real difference. If Debbie's sister had the opportunity, was aware, can make that safety plan, maybe she'd still be with us today. And because Sparkle was able to get in contact with the YW, she is. Make that $1,000 gift and make a difference right now. All right, Amanda, let's talk about $500. What does $500 do?
Think about $500 over the last year. That's a great meal out with your friends and a bottle of wine. We haven't gotten to do that, but look at the stewardship of the YWCA. $500 will feed a mother and her family for 1 month at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. And let me tell you, these children at the Weaver Center have not been going to school. So in addition to the meals that we already provided, we've had to add in breakfast and lunch that those kids are not getting at school. $500 at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center goes a whole long way. Please help us at the $500 level to make sure that we're feeding a mother and her family.
And this is something that the YWCA does so well. They steward your money in an incredible way. We think about what we could do or accomplish with $500, and they are taking care of providing nutritional meals for a family fleeing violence in the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. For $500, you can make that difference. Amy Hobbs, thank you.
Oh,
$500,
thanks,
thank you so much, Amy. We appreciate that gift. You have just provided an entire month's worth of meals for a family at Weaver Center.
Ashley, I have to tell you that Debbie said it best, is that statistics into stories. Now that I've seen there, and Valerie Birch, thank you for your $500. UC Sparkle, Aaron Weber, $1,000. Thank you. You're seeing those statistics in a story. Laurel Johnston, thank you so much. Statistics are best told through stories.
Monica Mackey, thank you so much for your $500 gift. Even though we aren't together, it feels like we can be together, you guys. We are doing this together. We are making a difference. Thank you. Keep finding that Donate Now button. Keep those donations coming in. We want to thank Kathy Anderson, who gave us a foundational $500 gift. We appreciate you.
Keep it coming in. Keep it coming in. If we were in the room today, everybody would start standing up. We want to thank you so far for this time. Cynthia Whitfield, one of our board members, $1,000.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you all for our generous donations for Stand Up to Change. Ashley and I are going to be back with a few more opportunities to give. But now, let's go back to some fun with our fabulous MC, Vicki Yates.
Thank you so much. And also Sparkle and Debbie. I mean, if they don't make you want to donate right now, I don't know what will. It was hard to keep a dry eye here, but it just tells you how much the Weaver Domestic Violence Center is doing. But anyway, let's go back to the fun right now. We've had many entries for the Best in Shoe. Who wore it best? We're awarding wine baskets to the most fabulous flat, bodacious boots, high-class heels, and Judge's Choice. And the winner of Best in Shoe is Lisa Gardner with a fabulous flat. Look at that. And look at her toenails, too. I'm liking that. All right. Lisa, you have won the fabulous flat Best in Shoe. Up next. All right, here we go. Best in Shoe, the bodacious boot, Rita P. Mitchell. You've got great boots. Thanks so much, Rita. Look at those boots. Are those like denim? Those are great. Okay. Up next. Best in Shoe, high-class heel, Erin Crawford. Erin, you are doing it, girl, with these shoes. It says talk the talk and walk the walk, and you obviously have because you won Best in Shoe in high-class heel. And one more here. Best in Shoe, Cameron Simmons, Judge's Choice. Judge's Choice, look at those. Oh my gosh. Where are you guys getting these great shoes from? You have to give me some information. Those are beautiful. So thank you so much. Now a reminder that our auction and our marketplace will be open until 9 o'clock p.m. tonight. So make sure you bid on some fabulous vacations out west or down south in Mexico or staycations right here in Nashville at the Hermitage Hotel. Now let's bring in Amanda and Ashley.
So much, Vicki. And how about another round of applause for our fabulous Best in Shoe winners?
I think we had some repeat winners there, Ashley, from last year and years prior. Those women know how to do their shoes.
We did. You're right. We all need links because who has been able to shop recently? But you can shop, just like Vicki said. You can shop the Marketplace Partners. 20% of all those proceeds go back to support the YWCA and Weaver Domestic Violence Center. Thank you to all our entrants, Best in Shoe. Thank you for dusting off that fancy footwear and sharing it with us. We hoped now that all of you have topped off your wine glass, and if you're thinking about giving, but haven't heard the right level or impact for you, we've got a few more options. Now, if you've been in the room with us, you know. Right now is about the point where I hop off the stage, start running around the room, and celebrating all of the gifts because it is incredible. You guys show up for us at this event year after year after year, and you make a huge difference. Sharon mentioned it earlier, but this event has raised over $2.5 million, and we need it this year more than ever. Fundraising is hard, y'all, and we're here. You can help us. You can make a difference. So if you have been with us in person, if you saw us last year, you might have seen me running around in my heels calling out numbers pregnant. But now, my little girl, Atlas Joy, is 9 months old. You may have heard me share before, but I am a survivor of domestic violence myself. When I hear Debbie's story and I think about her sister and her niece, I can think about what if I didn't leave my abuser? What would that look like? What would that story look like for my daughter? But being an employee and recipient of care from the YWCA, my Atlas Joy has a different story. So right now, we're gonna talk about a few more levels. I hope there's a level for you, and I hope we can call out your name as you give. Let's talk about $250, Amanda. What does $250 do?
$250, it's all about each other, providing weekly support groups for 8 survivors during their stay at Weaver. They can't do it alone. They do it together in a group. Give them encouragement and hope by allowing them to partner together with others. We know how important our tribe is, how important our friends are. $250, help us do that for the women at Weaver. We want to call out lots of names right now. So please, if you find that this is your opportunity to give, click on that button, $250, stand up and change, and help us raise that. Rita Johnson-Mills, another YW board member. Thank you so much, my dear friend. We've also had some gifts that have come along. Margaret Bim, a friend of the YW. Jamie Dunham, also a returning board member for the YW. Bahar, thank you so much, Bahar. Sonia Douglas for $250. Sarah Dixon, one of our Regions Bank employees, $250. Thanks, Sarah.
I want to give a shout out to Darlene Redder for a $500 gift. Thank you so much, Darlene. Thank you, Marley Downey. April Knox at $250. Keep them coming, keep them coming.
We want to read lots of names. Camilla Jackson.
Thank you,
so
Camilla.
much. Every dollar counts here, everybody. Every dollar counts. Please, if you find an opportunity to give, just click on that button and stand up. Stand up wherever you are at home, in your stilettos, in your PJs, in your slippers. Stand up with Ashley and I. Stand up with everybody at Geary Music Productions and stand up for change.
We've talked about a little bit how isolation plays into domestic violence, and we all experienced isolation a little bit differently this year with the pandemic and things how they are. And we know how scary that can be, how it can really affect all of your emotions. So when we think about $250 providing the support groups and bringing survivors together, to heal together, to find camaraderie together, to empower each other, it is truly, truly incredible that you can help provide that with just $250.
Just like Alyssa Hill just did.
Oh, Elisa,
yes,
thank you,
thank
Elisa.
you so much.
So for a $250 gift, you guys are providing hope. You're providing empowerment, and that's what I love about this event. Even though we aren't in the room and feeling it together, you're feeling it. You're feeling it through your gifts, and we're sharing it with you. Wine Women in Shoes is all about empowered women coming together to empower other women. Click on that Donate Now button, go to your mobile bidding page, click Donate Now, find the level that's right for you, and be a part of this Stand Up for Change. Right now, we're gonna go into $100. Amanda, tell us about $100.
Think about this, the group therapy is important, but we also know individual therapy is important to a survivor and a children. For $100, we can provide that at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. Healing, empowerment, and most of all, helping them have future relationship success. $100. Please help us at this level with individual therapy to our domestic violence survivors and their children.
And I love that this is the survivors and their children,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
We heard in the video that Sparkle's daughter, Miss Miracle, at 3 years old, went to the neighbor and asked for help. And for that reason, maybe that reason alone, Sparkle is here with us today. I was actually talking with Sparkle earlier, and she said that because of the healing that her daughter Miracle was able to receive in some of these therapy sessions, that she is able to be an empowered woman of her own right now, even at the young age of 9. So Sparkle and Miracle, thank you for every $100 gift that comes in right now.
Stacy,
thank you so much, Stacy Beimauer. We've got Jana Parkham. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Jana.
Parkham, thank you. $100, you guys, $100. It may not get very far for us right now, but $100 means a world of difference for the women and children at the Weaver Domestic Violence Shelter. If everybody watching gave $100 right now, it would mean an immense amount of change and an immense amount of critical funding for the YW. Jennifer Downs, thank you, Jennifer, for your $100 gift.
Ashley, think about this. You know, while we've been during the pandemic and Sharon talked about the work at the YW, it never closed. We have to have PPE. We have to have all of these supplies to make sure that things are going. The lights don't turn off. The work doesn't stop.
$100. If you can give $100 right now, go to your mobile bidding page, click Donate Now, find that $100 level, and give us a chance to provide hope, healing, and empowerment for ladies and children at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center.
That thermometer's climbing, Ashley.
It is. We got a ways to go, though. You've got time. If you can't figure it out, we've got support. You can enter your questions in the YouTube chat. We've got some cell phones available for you to call. You're having a hard time figuring out. We want to make sure there's no barriers for you to making this life-changing gift. All right, we are going to move on to our last and final level at $50. Amanda, tell us about $50.
This one has been so critical over the last year. $50 provides creative learning opportunities with art supplies and toys for our children who are at Weaver. Remember, over the last year, they haven't left Weaver when they are there. There's no school opportunities. Sharon has been sitting on a Sunday afternoon known to play with science kits with the kids. The kids are there 24/7, so keeping them occupied, keeping them engaged, keeping them learning, entertained, while they face this trauma of being in a domestic violence situation. $50, again, goes a long way at the YWCA when it comes to taking care and helping these children.
I want to give a shout out to Diane Spencer for her $100 gift. Thank you so much, Diane. And Kesha Whitfield for her gift of $100. Thank you so much. All right, $50. Or you can give at any level you want, really, any level that we've talked about, the impact statement that makes the most sense for you. Go to your mobile bidding page, click donate now, find that level, give us a life-changing gift right now, and know that this is so much more than dollars. We hope that when you watch Debbie and Sparkle share their stories, that you felt it in your heart. You know what? If you don't have the opportunity or the means to give right now, I hope that you will share the information about the YW, because that is incredibly important and that can save lives. If you are able to give, please click that donate now button and make a commitment to ending domestic violence in Middle Tennessee, standing up for change with Amanda and I, standing up for change alongside Sparkle and Debbie. Who wants to give it $50? Come on in at $50. You've still got a little bit of time. Amanda? All right. If you haven't had an opportunity to give yet today, please know that this will be open for you until Monday at noon. We've got a few last minute gifts in, so we're going to give ourselves just a little bit of time, but please know.
And think about this, Ashley. Take that video. It's we've recorded this entire event. Share it with your network. Thank you, Lucia Folk, one of our co-chairs today. Thank you. Share this video and share the link for others to give.
Mary Kate Waddell at $50. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary Kate. People trying to find a
Chandler
way.
at $100. Woo!
They're continuing to roll in. We're going to continue to watch our thermometer as we go through the next days, knowing that every dollar counts when it comes to the work that's done at the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. We want to thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for standing up along us with Sparkle, Debbie. As Ashley said, your contributions are dollars, their hope, their future, their recovery.
If you need a little more time to decide which level works best for you, like I mentioned, this will be open. This opportunity to support Stand Up for Change will be open until midnight on Monday. Share the link. Invite your friends to watch this program, to watch the mission moment, and choose what feels good for them. We appreciate you being with us here on this sunny, snowy Saturday. And right now, we're going to kick it back to the wonderful Vicki Yates.
Thank you. Thank you, and thanks to all of the generous people out there who are donating to support this vital work in our community. And now we're ready to select our Key to the Cellar winner. This is an amazing collection of fine and very fine wines. Over 50 bottles, bringing in one of the most beloved games from when we celebrate Wine, Women, and Shoes in person to help us randomly select the winner. You've heard it, Drinko. Here we go. If you've watched The Price is Right, you know how this works. This is one of their favorite games. Everybody who goes on the show says, I hope I get Plinko. Well, today we get Plinko, but it's called Drinko because you're going to win some fabulous wine if you get this. Here's the puck. I've always wanted to do this. And here we go. Good luck. Red. It's on red. Okay, so let's find out. The puck's landing on the winning color. Don't worry, we know what color you chose when you purchased. You don't have to have your key physically with you once the color is selected by the Drinko puck. A wheel with all of the names. Can you see the wheel? Yep, there you go. Your name is on there with all of the names that purchased a key in that color category. I purchased one too. Will appear on your screen to spin. See it spinning and randomly selecting the winner. Now, if you are the winner, we will be calling you this afternoon to congratulate you and get you your winnings. Let's see who is the winner. Looks like it's slowing up. It's slowing up. It's slowing up. And it's going to be Oh, it's right on the line there. Let's see, who is this? Are you serious? Are you serious? I won it? I cannot believe this was not planned. Thank you so much. I can't believe I won that. I never win anything. I don't. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh man. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me compose myself now that I've won. Okay. And now for the coveted closet. Okay. I'm thinking, did I win the wine then? I didn't. I won the closet? Oh my gosh. Okay. Trust me, this was not planned at all. Okay. Man, I won. I can't believe. Okay. Anyway, now we're doing the wine cellar. Okay, this is the wine cellar. I'm sorry, I'm discombobulated after win. I never win. Okay, here's the puck. Let's try this. And good luck. Let's try right here. Oh, try again. Can't use that one. Okay, we'll go this way. Pink, blue, purple. Here we go. Let's spin. Come on, spin. I can't believe that. I'm not going to win this one. Trust me. That would never happen. If it does, I'm giving it back. So let's see. Come on, spin. Have to spin. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Now this is when you win the wine. This is when you're going to be able to fill your wine cellar. Here we go. It's slowing down. Here we go. Keep your eye on the wheel. And the winner is, okay, it's not me, thankfully. Let's see the name coming up. It's coming up. This is for the wine. Dana Zukierski. Dana Zukierski, you have won the wine cellar. You have won the wine cellar. Congratulations, Dana. This is great. You and I are doing really well today. Man, I'm just amazed. Anyway. I'm bringing back Sharon Roberson, YWCA's president and CACO, to help us wrap everything up.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Vicki, and I thank everyone that is in our audience today who have generously contributed and those who have stood with us to support the YWCA. I want to thank our co-chairs, our sponsors, you, of course, those that helped us with our videos, because you are helping to save lives and make Nashville safer for women and children. And most importantly, I want to thank those who contributed to our video, because this is real life and this was very difficult, but this is their testimony. So thank you so much. I will tell you the silent auction is available till 9 o'clock tonight. And Monday at midnight, you can also continue to contribute. So thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you, Vicki.
I love being here.
Cheers.